Hello, family. We're going to be starting a show pretty soon right now in the area of building generational wealth. And in that area, but always we first want to open up by letting you know if you would like prayer in any area, we would like to pray for you. Just type what your need is also in the comments, and then we'll also pray for you. And just know that I pray for you every day in the area that God would bless you, that you'd have joy, peace. But also I pray especially in the area of God would bless you in what you're doing as a job, also in the area of promotions, that God would open doors in those areas for you. Also pray over businesses. I didn't say small business, by the way. We never said it. We say right-sized business. And then also we pray that as God is bringing you to the next level, that Lord, that you continue, that He draws you closer to you in every area of your life. So in doing that, and so also got my co-host with me, Danette. Danette, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, Danette, before we get going, we've taught a lot of classes on real estate. I've been telling people buy Inglewood, and obviously in the surrounding areas. And, there's certain things happening here with SoFi Stadium, and you're starting to see how rental prices are going up. And I'll tell you right now, I think they're going up quite a bit for a couple of reasons. I think that that more people are moving into places, and also this eviction moratorium, where people can't be evicted, is kind of freezing up the market. So people can't do as much, there's not a lot of movement. So it's making housing prices go further. Then also you can type in chat if you think there are other reasons why housing is going up. Housing prices are going up, but rental values. If you remember, when I was doing Buy Inglewood, they started building something at Grace Park. So that's right across, that's where Daniel Freeman Hospital used to be. And they're supposed to be in the 400s. And then another developer bought it and they said they're going to be in the 800s. And now we see homes selling over there, 2,300 square foot homes selling for in excess of $1 million. So let us know your opinion on that. But I want to just set this right here. They show one. This was on Facebook on Inglewood. And it shows right here, $5,900 rent for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. And I wanted to get, Danette, your opinion.
Well, there's a little thing called inflation, and we are dead smack in the middle of it. Real estate is no different than gas and ice cream. I went to Thrifty's the other day, and ice cream one scoop was $1.99, and I remember when it was 10 cents.
10 cents.
10 whole cent. My mother said, because I was with my mom, she said, I remember when it was a nickel. We were going toe to toe on our memory. But real estate, there's a housing shortage is what the problem is. And so there's no builders out here building too many homes. And this one right here is like a hot commodity, right smack dab in the middle of what we're calling the entertainment new mecca, right? So, renting $5,900, that's a whole mortgage. So, people that are looking to pay that much in rent should really be looking to buy. But people that are complaining about rent being that high, this is where we get into talk about planning. This is not new. This trajectory of heightened prices are not new. And we're going to continue to see this decade after decade. But we're going to talk about it, and we should talk about it. I think we should do a whole show on renting versus ownership. But yeah, it's we don't have time to get into this right now. But George, that's a good article we need to dig into.
And please type in the chat if you'd like to hear more about that. I just want to ask you, I'm telling you, who could afford to rent in here and doing this? So I think a couple of things. I think it'll be families, or it'll be people that are like, a few people are going to be paying like $1,500 each. There's 4 bedrooms, or in these different areas. But what I'm saying is people need to be stacking the chips together and then also owning something and then just making that change. So, but type in the chat if you'd like to hear more about different things about renting, owning, and real estate. And by the way, we also have a playlist though of several things on YouTube that we've already done in the area of real estate. But we think that there are certain things that people could do now. Almost, I don't want to say you almost have to now. You almost have to live with other people to save up so you can go out and buy something, or we got to start looking at solutions so you're able to do certain things. But this article kind of hit me. So we're going to talk about that and building generational wealth. So, hey, let's start the show. Hello, family. Pastor George here, ready for another exciting episode of SET-4-LIFE. We have done a series and we just started it, and it's called Building Generational Wealth. So now we're talking about the inheritance. Got my co-pilot with me, Danette. Danette, how are you doing today?
Super great. How are you?
Good, good. I'm glad that we're gonna keep going. So, Danette, I'm gonna kick it over to you. We also received article people always talk about, and we're talking about inheritance. So now we've already talked about, in the Bible, it says a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. So what we talked about is that you want to actually pass two things on to your children and also to people. That can be friends, everything. Number one is it can be finance, but the second is knowledge. You want to also have things that are in there and knowledge. We already have spoken about that. Check our playlist and you'll be able to do it. Now we're going to talk about, I'm going to kick it over to Net, some things that once people get things passed on and you guys think that, hey, I'm going to get this stuff and I'll pass it on to my kids. But hey, we found out there's certain things that people don't really like to get in it, that we don't like to have inheritance. Danette, let's talk about it.
Yes, this is an interesting topic. First of all, we spend a lot of time, building our lives, going to work, getting a job, getting a good education as they train us to do. And then we start buying stuff, accumulating things. And then some people think that building wealth equals, leaving things to their children that technically are not, that valuable per se. We were kind of joking about an article we came across, and one of the top 5 things, and I have one of these, that people leave to their children is a timeshare.
Don't cuss on our, don't cuss on my show.
I inherited one, but I mean, we can go on and on about the thing, but timeshares, you want to, as you say, you want to add some color to the timeshare?
I'm gonna add some color to it. Sure. So as you guys know, I've been teaching for over 20 years about different things. One of the things I talk to people about is home ownership and owning things. So one thing is, I'm not going to take a rap song from E40, a famous Negro poet, said, before he goes, don't buy a $40,000 car or $80,000 car before you buy a house. I want to make sure that we also don't have a timeshare before we own a home.
Yeah.
And then when we pass things on to our kids, we want to pass on real estate. We want to pass on things to them. But one thing we don't do is pass on. You see, we're also passing on a burden sometimes, because timeshares are a long contract. You tell me how long they are, how long they are. So I've seen them and they're doing all the stuff. First of all, they're putting you under all this pressure to even do it. You know what I mean? Like you go to the thing, and I went somewhere, I was in Las Vegas with my wife one time, and they said, excuse me, sir, would you like to have dinner tonight on us for a $150 gift card? I was like, I'm sure, ma'am, there's something associated with it. She said, yeah, we just want you to watch a 45-minute presentation. You see, all this is saying, if they got to get to do all this to get you to do it, that tells you maybe you don't need to do it. Mm-hmm. But so a timeshare also puts them on an obligation, and it also makes them tied into something that they may not want to do. I personally don't have any timeshares. I hear people say they have good memories with their kids and doing these things, but then at least give them the option so that they can that be done at that time. Because I don't see the long-term effects of that. Because I've always seen that maybe I want to go to different places. So maybe the Marriott, different hotels, I just want to stay at different places and not be tied into that. Mm-hmm. But I would like to hear on the positive side. Have you ever, now you have a timeshare, but did you inherit a timeshare?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you did that. Okay, good.
I also inherited, and here's what you're talking about. You inherit the dues that you have to pay, and you inherit the maintenance fees, right? So those are the deal. Now you can go anywhere, and the resorts are beautiful and they're nice, and so if you plan it out right, they could work. It's not that they don't necessarily work, but what I don't like about them, and usually when I do go, I have to tell them straight up, I don't want to sit it, because even after you're getting the invitation to listen to a presentation without owning. The owners have to listen to presentations over and over and over again, because there's still, no matter when you buy it, there's pressure to upgrade. So they always have something more to sell to you. And then if you gift it to your friends, they want them to come and sit and listen to these presentations. And it is pressure cooker, and it's annoying, but you have to learn how to say no. But my point to the timeshare piece is, you could probably do better if you just budget an amount of money every month if you want to travel. Because like you said, you can go to different hotels and this and that, but even at the Marriott now and the Hilton, they pressure you to buy into their timeshares because they want to make sure that their hotels are booked 100% all the time. Vacancy rates are critical when you're an investor. So that's what that's all about. But there's some other ones, George.
And I want to go to the next one, but I want to let everybody know, stay tuned to the end because we're going to go through what the solutions are. See clapping my hands. I'm already clapping my hands because I already know what I'm going to say is that they're giving a timeshare. Everybody knows, and the people, by the way, before we go any further, Danette is our resident real estate guru. So we're going to tell you what you should be doing instead of that. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's go. Number.
I thought these were interesting because I wouldn't have give any of this away, but and I'm not going in any order. I think there was a 1 through 5, but I'm the one was 5. Another one was, okay, I'm gonna keep it close. Vacation property.
Right. Okay, got you. Now this one is tough. I wish we keep this one till last. I'm only going to say 2 comments about it. I want to go into solutions on this. Vacation properties, because you're sending someone that doing that. Now, first of all, there may be a debt against it. So like you may owe a couple on it. So you're putting an obligation on them. But then also you're making them have to carry, like I said, there were memories here. We came here during this time, and then you're making that happen. But I want to wait till the very end because let's say we do real estate and you buy investment properties, and later on you can start Airbnb-ing them or you can rent them out. Then that may be a better option. But I'll just say this though about vacation homes. I think we should maybe focus on having them in a different area, and they not be a vacation home, be something that can generate revenue. And we'll come back to that. Anything you want to say about that?
Only that, vacation homes become that when you leave a house for your kids, because I want to talk about in depth about the folks that buy a house, just one, and they live in it for 30, 40, 50 years, and then they're struggling to survive because they want to leave that particular house to their children, right? And that conversation, we're not going to get into that today. So let's move on. But I want to put a pin in that, as they say.
No, okay. I do want to come back to that.
Yeah. Here's one though, like physical property, like jewelry and, antiques and things like that.
I'm going to add color to this and then I'm going to move on. The challenge with that, you guys, in leaving that is that you have to have a fully executed estate plan. Mm-hmm. So an estate plan means you have a will and then you have a living trust that outlines everything. There's something called a bequest sheet where you write down who you want your jewelry and who you want your stuff to go to. Mm-hmm. And you say, well, Pastor George, why are you telling us this? Because this jewelry, number one, unfortunately, gets either taken by people that it was never intended for them to have. And this is the number one area of sandbox fighting. I have at funerals, this is the number one area. And we had this even in ours. So when your relative or mother or something is sitting under the people that are taking care of her, the people coming else, they're looking at that jewelry. And then when they say they're helping her with stuff, they're looking at that jewelry. I have been to funerals, had to break up fights where the people were wearing the jewelry of the person. And then when their family came into town, they're like, ain't that mom? Ain't that grandmother? And then how'd she get it? And then they took that as payment for them helping you. This stuff needs to be handled a certain way. Or if you're doing it, it just needs to be organized, like saying like, I want this dress or I want this to go to this person. It needs to be written out because that after the repast, the fights in the houses need to stop. I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. Period with a capital. Okay, so then along those lines, like collectible stamps and gold coins, what should we?
So these are the things. This is the thing. This up and down market. Like now you're seeing it. There's shortages of change everywhere. All the things are happening where some of these can be valuable. But then this goes. Remember, I told you guys if you didn't watch the other tape, I talked about knowing knowledge, one, and then the second is finances. Like if they are collectible, have someone that you've explained it to prior, like now. That so they're clear, like, hey, I have these I collect $2 bills. I expect this to happen. Or I'm doing this. I expect this to happen. Then I got to put up a second finger. Make sure you're diversified. You're not only doing coins, but then maybe you're doing other things. Because there are people that are doing that with, you'd be surprised now, Danette. I have clients that are saying things like they're doing football cards, and doing the stuff. Now with all this cryptocurrency stuff, now with all these other things, there's so many coins, there's so many things. There needs to be what's called a plan. Now I brought one of your favorite words, plan. So you have something with these coins. So they're just not sitting somewhere and then someone finds them. And then this is the challenge. They walk into a pawn, I'm gonna say pawn shop, but they walk into a pawn shop or someone buys all your collection for a couple $100. And you're like, no, this is worth thousands, because you want to have the value, the appraise, and all the things. And you actually want to have that in your estate plan, which we're going to come back to a little bit here at the end and doing it. But these are something that needs to be a little bit of a plan, so that unfortunately a relative is not taken advantage of. Because some people don't know how much this football card is worth, or this baseball card is worth, or they don't know how much this coin is worth, or why you bought it. Like if you know, and be able to outline that, say, hey, this is going to become rare, or this is the reason why.
Like record albums, remember the word album? And
that's how I used to be a DJ. I had the 1200s. What y'all know about that?
The albums. Okay, in the top 5, George, was guns.
Right. Also, you guys, and I just say this one because again, we're just saying this for this reason. This is that now there's regulations and stuff with the guns and different things like this. So this kind of goes back to our plan and doing this, is that decide who you're going to give them to. Make sure this person is a person that is licensed, knows how to utilize these weapons, and knows weapons, and then that also it's safe, and that you guys understand you guys don't give out guns without a gun safe. There needs to be a safe to put them, because they may have children, and you also let's just say there are certain, let's just talk barbecue here, and I'm going to leave it alone. There are some relatives that you would want to give a gun, give something to, and there's some relatives you wouldn't want to get. People that short fuses, or there may be some issues to it that would. I'm trying to be politically correct in saying this. That just make sure you're giving these things to the right people, and it's just not random, and it's just, or it's not written in, and then the people just take them.
So are guns something to collect because they're collector's items? Do they appreciate and value? I'm not a gun buff, so I don't know.
So let me just say it. Let me say it this way. I think you're very familiar with, and then there were a lot of pictures came out. You know, the pandemic first hit. Remember that when you couldn't get toilet paper? You understand the lines they had to get guns?
Oh, well, yeah.
So the lines to get them. So number one, there are certain guns that are difficult to get, and that some people may have. And then there's people that are actually like gun collectors that have certain guns. So they have different values. But see, this is the thing. It's kind of complicated. And then let's do it this way. Let's say someone lives in a certain state and you can carry those type of weapons, assault, right? You know what I mean? And then there's certain states you can't. There's something the right to carry. There's a lot of laws that are involved. And you just want to make sure you want to be able to that happens. And that also people have to take a test in order to have them. And there's just certain things. And then let's say someone lives in, I'm just using Mississippi because where a lot of families from. So you can't just transport them. You know, you can't just, hey, let's hop on the plane and bring my guns with me. You know what I mean? There's just certain things that have to be done. So I just want to make sure that this goes into people having a plan for that as well.
Okay, well, there's that. So let's get into what should you leave to your children? And then, you know, how do you, this is more for the person inheriting, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about how, and I don't know how much time we have, what do you do with it? Do you open up an account? If you do leave something valuable like a 401k or some kind of retirement account to your children, you know, just talk a little bit about that. Like, how do you educate? And I know the answer to this, but how do you educate, people that are trying to prepare this plan to leave to their children? What should people do?
The reason why Danette knows this is that we actually have something. We have a very defined process on this, and it's called a family financial plan. I'm going to repeat it 3 times. Family financial plan, family financial plan. And what you need to have is a kitchen table, what, Danette? Conversation. Okay. You know what? This is the first time we've spoken. Okay, gotcha. So it's called a kitchen table conversation. I would like for you to have one with someone up, and then also someone, I'm saying beneath you, but someone younger than you. So like you should be talking to your parents and your grandparents that are alive, and then ask them certain questions. Do you have a will? do you have a living trust? So what you're doing is you're asking them estate plan questions. Then you can also send us an email or a text. We have something called a peace of mind checklist. See that, Jeanette? So anyway, peace of mind checklist, make sure you have all the information. So you say things like, hey, did you serve, like this question you asked, hey, did you serve in the military? Did you just, because they would be involved in certain things that would be in the funeral. You guys are doing this. So there's something called a DD-T14, you know.
DD-214?
Yes. So you want to first of all just have a conversation. Now, if you became ill, do you have long-term care insurance? Do you have life insurance? All this stuff. So everyone wants to get together their estate plan. We do estate planning seminars, but if you want information regarding that, please shoot us an email. We'll put that also in the text. But also, as you know, it's at stewardship@faithfamily.org, and we can send you things because we do things in the area of estate planning. But first of all, you want to have a kitchen table conversation and then ask people what their wishes are, because we call this the blueprint, just of what they would like to have. Like, I would like this to go here, this to go here. And then you can talk about, remember we talked about all that antique, furniture, different things like that. See, someone can't carry that back with them, or they may not want to. So you might say, hey, I want to donate this here, or I want to do this, and then get out a plan for all of these. But that's actually want to have it. So it's called an estate plan that has a living trust, that has a will, that has what's called POA, power of attorney, in two areas. One is medical and the other one is financial. All right, so that's what you want to have. The second thing that you want to do is all these ones, when they said, do you want to pass on a timeshare? Do you want to pass on a vacation property? What you should do is pass on to your children an investment property. Now, and we teach a whole bunch of class on this. So it can be a single family home. It can be a quad. I'm sorry, a duplex, a triplex, a quad, or hey, a strip mall, however you want to do it. You want to be able to pass on real estate. You can also pass on 401ks, your retirement, things like that. And then there's life insurance. There's things, there are these avenues, and we'll do future seminars on, and we do actually have a lot of material in those areas for you as well. So just, we'll also put those in chat. We want to, first of all, make you aware of them. And then we want to set up our first kitchen table conversation. So Jeanette, no, go ahead. We have enough time for two more questions.
It wasn't even a question. Honestly, it was a statement, because as I was talking, I was thinking about the families that I've seen, working in church and working in the business that we're in. So many families don't think about the actual burden it is to inherit the actual home that is filled with so much stuff that has accumulated, because we don't take the time to really kind of clear things out, and I'm just talking about the collectibles of things, whether it be magazines or mugs or t-shirts, hats, whatever it is. That's really a hard thing to go through all those things after someone passes. But relative to what you're saying, that's when people start rummaging through and start going through, finding the valuable things that you really wanted to leave to particular people. Those things should be placed somewhere. And that's what that peace of mind checklist helps people with, right? So, I just wanted you to kind of dig a little deeper on the peace of mind checklist, like what.
Yeah, that's imperative. Thank you, Jeanette. So I'm going to bring that up one more time. Is peace of mind checklist, and then we just outline, like, in other words, where is your bank account? Mm-hmm. Where is your safety deposit box? Because we have people that someone passes, they can't find them, and the thing, and what's safety deposit box? Where did you work? So where was your pension coming from? Where was your where is your 401k? Where's your 401k, your retirement, all of your assets? Then what vehicles you have? Because you understand that people have to re-register those cars, or you have to give them power of attorneys while someone is alive. That you do it, but they're incapacitated. Mm-hmm. Then when they pass, then you have to transfer title to someone. Then let us know that, hey, these cars right here, I eventually want to sell them and then give the proceeds for someone to be able to go to college. I want to start telling people right now what you would like to do. So this is an estate plan. And then an addendum to that is something called a peace of mind checklist. But the peace of mind checklist really helps But the number one thing you want to have is an estate plan. That involves a living trust, the will, the pour over will. Because we get asked this also. This will be one question: should I have a will or should I have a trust? Mm-hmm. Or I don't. If I have a trust, I don't need a will. So what we do is we actually do an intake where we can sit down with you and talk to you and find out which one's best. And by the way, I am not an attorney, so we refer you to attorneys that can help you with that. We can see how much. So that would help you on your cost to find out, hey, do you need what you really need, so that you find out what works best for you and what's the best solution for you and your family. Because I want to say this, though, you should hire an attorney, an estate attorney, because that is very cost effective. Someone will say, I don't want to pay for an attorney. I want to just do it myself. I'm going to mention a swear word. Okay, I'm going to swear on it. I'm going to swear on our show live. Here we go. Probate. You want to avoid probate. And doing that. Probate used to take about 2 years to go through. That's number one time. Now, from the pandemic, I think things are backed up. They take even longer because I think there's more cases and in doing it. So you want to make sure you put everything in order, and then we'll do that. All right, Danette?
Sounds good. I love it.
Good. So one of the things I'll do, Danette, you can let us know, everybody, if this was helpful to you. And then also, if you'd like to do a very specific class on estate planning, we'd be more than happy to do that. That would be awesome. And by the way, we've done ones also live, but right now, if you have any questions, you can just shoot us an email or also type in the chat. We'll also do our very best to respond. And but you want to shoot us an email directly. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today in SET-4-LIFE. We'll see you on our next episode. Everybody have a blessed day.